If you're in the UK, good evening. If you're in the US or Canada, good afternoon.
And if you are in Australia or the land of the rising sun, Japan, you might be a samurai wearing a mask, kind of like this enlightened gentleman down here. Good morning. Welcome to the Magic of Wrestling podcast.
Oh, let this guy loose. Hang on, this is not wrestling with a paranormal. Can we just get this straight?
What? I'm not welcome here.
No.
You son of a bitch.
Do you know what? Intern, roll the intro. Now, I just want to start by saying one thing. The interns turned around and said to me, we cannot get 3 Bret marks on the show. Well, false, because one's my co-host, and the other 2 are on the Sunday show. So what can I say? I mean, there you go. It's Saturday night again. It's, of course, time for the Magic of Wrestling. I am the magician, Liam Wakeland.
And I am the effing expert, Mr. Isaacs.
And of course, we are joined by the 2 guys from the All In Wrestling Show. You guys can introduce yourself. You don't need me.
I am, of course, the patron saint of all of professional wrestling. I am that gingered up, bubbly son of a bitch. I'm Canada Dry, damn it.
Woo.
And of course, we are joined by 3 letters will always solidify this man. I mean, I'll let him introduce himself.
I am from the land of champions, but unfortunately, the Bruins and the Celtics look like they're not going to do it. So it might actually come down to the Red Sox this year. I am the JFB, James from Boston.
Woo, woo. Of course. Mr. Isaacs, how's the week been?
My man, it has been hectic. I'm a very busy man today. I've got a concert tonight. I'm going to see Breaking Benjamin, so I'm looking forward to that. And,
Awesome.
Yeah, doing the podcast with you guys, and I'll be shifting into gear and getting ready for that. So good times.
You know, I just want to say that I'm really excited to be doing this Luke Wilson podcast with you guys here.
Say what?
I was told this is about Owen's brother, so it's about Luke Wilson.
This is not on my notes, so I have no idea what the interns have been doing here.
Oh, this isn't about Luke Wilson? Owen's brother? Awkward.
Awkward.
Okay, thanks for coming on the show. We'll talk to you later.
Okay, I'm gonna have to scrub my notes then, because I've all got like Idiocracy notes and like all his other movies and stuff.
Oh yeah, those Wilson brothers, man. They were the king of like the mediocre comedies in the 2000s.
Oh, yeah, they were.
I think that Luke Wilson is underrated as a comedian.
Fair enough. Do you know what? Let's get into part 1. Before we get into our main event, of course, Bret Hart, we're going to get through a little thing we call the Magic Weekly. You know what? I'm not actually vibing to it this time. I don't know why. I'm a bit kind of dry. What's going on?
I got a vibe to it because someone's got to do it. That's my creation. It's my put to the show.
Fair enough. So before we get into our main event, we've got a short Magic Weekly. So first story we've got today is Ronda Rousey wants some time off, obviously, WWE. I mean, Mr. Isaacs, what do we think?
I give it to her. I mean, she's not doing much, honestly. She's got her little tag team with Shayna Baszler, and since she's come back, she has not impressed me at all. She really hasn't. Like, she's been lackluster in the ring. Her character works awful. I'm just not feeling her. I mean, if she wants a break, give it to her.
Fair enough. JFP?
I think you should send her to promo class and learn how to actually cut a promo because, my God, I have not seen anything that wooden since the Pinocchio movie.
Oh, dear. Kind of dry.
What I would like to see from Ronda Rousey, I'd like to put a stool in the middle of the ring. I want to see Ronda Rousey sitting on it. I want to see her just eating milk and cookies for 15 minutes, not saying anything. This would be entertaining as hell compared to what she's been doing.
Would it be as more entertaining when you went on that date with the milk and cookies?
Listen, we're not bringing that up again. I have PTSD. Do you not understand this?
But you just said milk and cookies, and for some reason that was the first thing I thought of. I don't know why.
Milk and cookies is fine. You do not put milk and cookies in a Ziploc together and give it as a gift. It's just no.
No.
It's a little strange, yeah.
Very strange, very strange. But yeah, we'll move along. So Saraya reacts to false reports about AEW's locker room accepting Thunder Rosa's apology. So she has said the following: "No, I didn't say that they accepted it. Not at any point. This is bull. That's absolutely up to them. I said she apologized, and this was way all before time. There, I don't know the deal. Dirt sheets being dirt sheets. I did say the locker room is effing awesome, though. I love being a part of it." Now, obviously, the report came out that obviously she apologized, but JP, are we buying this? Do you think it's bull?
I think it's bull. I think it is. I mean, who knows what I would think with the way the locker room is now, it's probably a lot more tight than it was previously, only because guys like Moxley and guys like Jericho are stepping up to kind of shore everything in together. So, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Mr. Isaacs?
Yeah, I agree with JB here. I think it's probably bull. It's just probably just, I mean, she's kind of all over the place. You know, sometimes she's, barking and saying negative things, and then sometimes she's, everything's fine. What are you talking about? She's kind of hard to get a read on sometimes.
Square on Kush, as always, in the comments.
Hey,
Kush.
Oh, man.
Keep it cushy, Kush.
There you go. Canada, your thoughts on this?
Oh, Thunder Rosa is just my favorite wrestler. He is so good. Just the way she puts that paint on. Oh, wonderful. No, I'm kidding. She just she's a character and a half. Let's just ship all the toxic people over to Collision. That'll work out for us all.
Speaking of a Collision, of course, it's airing on June the 17th, but there seems to be a lot of conflict. Apparently, the venue might be changing because of Punk, but Canada, what's your thoughts overall with this?
I think it's a work. I think Punk is completely on board. I think that they're just messing with us, trolling. You see Punk goes to Danhausen. Danhausen, you have no nipples. I love this back and forth between him and Danhausen. Just remember, everyone, touch some grass today.
We're ending that kind of dry segment there on touch some grass. That's brilliant. Mr. Isaacs, overall thoughts?
Yeah, I think the Punk thing is a work as well. I don't think there's any real heat or dissension here. I think when it first came out that Punk was going to be part of Collision, I think they kind of freaked out like, oh, we're not supposed to put that out yet. So then they kind of came up with this BS to kind of make it seem, cast some doubt that he's going to actually show up. He's going to be there. It's going to be his show. I think the fact that they're doing a second show finally, like a true second show, not Rampage, is great. I think it's phenomenal. I think that now we're going to get to see these guys that just seemingly disappear for 6-7 weeks in a row. And they're actually going to have something to do. So I think this is going to be great for AEW.
Yeah, absolutely. JP?
I mean, here's the thing. I'm excited for Collision. I cannot wait because when's the last time, when's the last time we actually had Saturday night wrestling? It has been years and years. And I'm glad we're finally getting professional wrestling Saturday nights. Will I watch it all the time? Saturday night or date night. So depending on my situation.
Well, we have a problem here, JP. You can't have dates on Saturday. You got to do Collision After Dark.
You got to do Collision After Dark, right? But I can incorporate that into, if you will, into the fold.
Could we see some like hottie, like coming on the
The
show.
date's going to be on the show.
Maybe.
Like the date's going to be the fourth panelist.
Fifth panelist, because we got, you're going to be
she'll
on
be,
it.
yeah, she'll be the fifth panelist, and I'll just have her on here and there. So
That
yeah,
would be
maybe-
hilarious if we get some random girl every Saturday night.
It's like, what is this again?
Me talk about professional wrestling. Damn it, go! What are your thoughts on Macho Man Randy Savage? Go! But I love Saturday Night Wrestling. I love it, and I mean the whole Punk thing. I mean, we know it's going to be in Chicago. I don't know why we're being dangled this information. We know it's going to be in Chicago. We know Punk is going to be there. We know that the Elite will not be there. So just don't make it a surprise announcement. That's not a big announcement. Everybody freaking knows this.
I'm just excited that I can stop booking matches between me and my cat for Saturday nights.
Yeah.
Like, I can just watch some real. I moved that Canada Dry versus Fruit Cat. Fruit Cat versus Canada Dry. Light One versus Fruit Cat. Like, it's going to now be Collision and Collision after. It's exciting.
Yeah.
Did you just say you book matches with your cat?
We got I practice all my moves. Like that cat can sell.
Do you think the collision's going to be at 8:00 or is it going to be at 6:05?
Oh, I wish it was 6:05 because it's just that 5-minute thing is great.
WCW Saturday night.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's that trick to get better ratings into the next hour.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
One thing I want to ask about is obviously the logo. Obviously, a lot of people are saying it's got shades of Nitro.
Oh,
I mean, if you've got side by side like this,
It's the same thing. It's copy and paste.
pretty much. I mean, I actually love it. I mean, I actually dig the logo. Canada Dry. Are we a fan of the logo?
I do, but I don't think this logo is going to stand the test of time. I think that will be reinvented really quickly, maybe year 2.
Fair enough. JP?
I don't think it's going to last a week. I think they're going to. I think right now that's a placard, kind of like how ours was just another effing wrestling show. It was a placard
For 2
It'll be
seasons.
there. Yeah, it'll be there. It lasted 2 seasons. This won't last, but maybe 2 weeks. I think they're going to do a change to it. I hope so, because
I want to see those crashed up letters with broken glass.
yeah, exactly. Like Collision should just smash and then expand and like all shattered. Just some originality into it. Don't steal the Nitro font, for God's sakes.
There you go. Mr. Isaacs with the logo.
This seems like one of those templates that they put in place, like a concept. It's concept art that
Yeah.
they just threw out there, and they haven't actually created the real art yet. I like what
I'm
Chris says here. Saturday Night Collision, where the other big boys play,
The other
which is funny because most of the people in AEW are probably like $1.50.
Yeah.
And I told Kush to say that he's totally using my stuff right now.
Hey, we got Alexandra here. It's my daughter's name. How are you?
Hey, welcome to the show. Yeah, it's one night I absolutely watch. Well, Saturday night's going to be interesting, I guess, but we shall definitely see on that
It's
one.
going
So
to be
we
interesting to see if they really get solid ratings on a Saturday night on a consistent basis, because they got a lot they're going to compete with on Saturday nights.
Oh yeah.
Like every
I think.
major sport ever.
Yeah, I think honestly, it's going to be the +3 and +7s that are going to matter to the advertisers, not day of. I think
I'm
+3s
worried
and
about
+7s.
Bowling for Burgers on Channel 73. Is it going to be able to stay on the air with Collision coming on at the same time?
I mean,
I
you
mean,
can't
those
compete
are going
with
to be nights that they're going to have to compete with UFC fight nights. They're going to have to compete with college football. They're going to have to compete with NBA. I mean, there's like basically every professional sports ever is going to be running against them at some point.
Yeah.
Hockey night in Canada? Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Hockey.
Both.
Yeah.
Hockey. There you go. So we've got one more
I
story.
love how Liam says hockey.
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 Hockey. We've got one more story to wrap up the Magic Weekly now. Stone Cold has praised Pat McAfee and said he has a natural feel for the business. I do kind of find him entertaining, but Mr. Isaacs, has he got a natural feel for the business, please, sir?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not the biggest Pat McAfee fan in the world. I think he's a little annoying, to be honest with you. but I mean, he does seem to understand the business pretty well. I liked him as a wrestler. Like when he was working with Adam Cole in NXT, I thought he was great. I'm kind of lukewarm on him as a SmackDown commentator, and I mean, at this point, who knows if he'll ever be back? But I do think he understands the business. My understanding was he actually trained legitimately under Rip Rogers.
Yeah.
So he actually has taken the time and the respect to actually learn the business. So kudos to him for that.
So you like it better with Adam Cole more than Michael Cole?
Yes.
Dear.
Without
JP,
question.
what were we thinking with Pat McAfee?
I listen. I listen to his podcast. I watch his show on TV. I like him. I didn't like him when he played for the Colts because I mean he's a punter. How hard is it to hate a punter? It's really hard because you're like screw you in your 55-yard punt, you son of a bitch. But him, Bad Bunny, those guys love wrestling. And they're taking the time to not make it look stupid. That's the key, is that they're doing what it takes to make it not look like somebody else is just, oh, I love professional wrestling, but I'm not going to train. I'm just going to show up and throw a couple punches like, say, Logan Paul. I mean, they took the time for respect to all the wrestlers that came before him and all the wrestlers that are performing right now. I love it. I want more Pat McAfee. I want to see him I want to see him punt kick someone right in the family jewels.
Wow. Hopefully we'll see that the next Canada Dry. Your thoughts?
I enjoy Pat McAfee all around. He's a hell of an entertainer, and that's saying something. Going from the world of football, being an athletic guy, now you're on TV entertaining. All that takes a lot of versatility to be able to do that. So props to him.
Yeah. I actually love him. Obviously, I want to see more of him, but to come from somebody like Stone Cold, it's big. Obviously, he's a big guy, big name. So yeah, absolutely. What's going on, Noob?
Noob's
As
in the
always,
house.
Noob as always in the house.
Did
so,
you
yeah.
guys know that Noob? I've challenged him. He's gonna save wrestling Twitter. He's gonna kill the toxicity in wrestling Twitter. That's his mission. I've charged him with it. He's gonna tweet it every single day.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Sounds
We heard that,
good.
yeah.
I like
Makes
it.
it
I like
fun.
Noob.
There we go. I look forward to that. So before we get into our main event, we've got to say a massive thank you to a big sponsor. Guys, have we actually ordered any of this stuff yet?
Oh,
Of
yeah.
course.
I'm on it right
Hey.
now.
Mr. Isaac, do you want to tell everybody about Dubby?
Dubby is an energy drink designed for streamers and gamers, and for anybody else who needs a little boost of energy. You can use the code Effin Wrestling to get 10% off. You want to take this stuff, get behind a microphone, stream for about 6 hours straight, and you're going to be good, man. It's going to make you be entertaining. It's going to make you be wild, man. You'll be live.
And what's that word? There's no molydextrins. Is that the word? No molydextrins?
No malodextrins.
I'll call it molydextrin. No malodextrin or molydextrins.
And that is Dubby.
Dubby.
Hey!
That is www.dubby.gg. Enter the promo code Effin Wrestling for
Dubby
10%.
is the new green monster.
Right then, gentlemen, let's get into the main event.
The main event.
Not saying anything.
You know, if I could own an arcade game in my house, I'd pick that one.
Yeah, that's a good
Liam,
game.
you know you live for this moment.
I do,
when
but
the generic King Kong Bundy walks across the ring, slams the random guy in a mask, and the kid puts the quarter in. You live for this.
Mhm.
This is your moment.
You guys gotta have a quarter ready for the show every time. Just have a whole
It's
bunch of
tokens, man. It's tokens, not quarters. It's tokens.
Oh yeah, if you go into the token place, that's when you know you're.
Oh yeah, when they switch to the proprietary tokens to try to like force you to spend money and then not like change your mind. Yeah, that was good.
It's funny. I have a friend who is a avid arcade guy and actually owns several, and he's got WWE Wrestle whatever, the one that came out in the 80s. Yeah, WrestleFest. And he repaired the board. It looks absolutely gorgeous. He finished the cabinet. Oh, it's so sweet. I can't wait to go to his house and steal
Now,
it.
is WrestleFest the same as Superstars, or is that two different games?
I think WrestleFest came after Superstars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
WrestleFest was like from the late 80s, early 90s. I used to play that every time we went to Walmart.
Yeah.
I've never seen WrestleFest. I've only seen Superstars in Canada.
Yeah.
Interesting. So for our main event, we are looking at the highs and lows of Bret Hart. So as I mentioned in the intro, we've managed to get 3, I want to say big Bret Hart matches. We've got the expert, we've got JP, and of course we've got the guy from Canada himself. Canada's right. I mean, so
I'm
explain what's been-
73% Hart. 73%.
what's the other 20 odd?
Just bunch of stuff.
It's just miscellaneous.
Now, how did you get an
Yes.
odd number percentile of Hart inside you? How did that happen?
It's you parents, lineage, all that kind of stuff. Just crazy.
Interesting.
There's a lot
So-
of floof in there because I'm a cat guy.
Speaking of which, where is Fruit Cat?
He's right here on the floor. You want me to grab him?
No.
Okay. They don't want to see you, asshole. He scratched me the other day.
Oh, that's not good.
No.
There's a new black cat in the neighborhood. It's a cute little thing. It's a lot smaller than him. And he saw it and he wanted to beat the living shit out of it. And I'd like, come on, leave it alone. And he just like swatted me and put a nice little gash in my hand. And the funny thing is once I got him inside, he was all lovey-dovey again. It's like, it's like just when we're outside, I'm the tough guy. Okay?
I'm the big boy around here. Okay. Well, let's explain obviously what's happening today. So we've got 10 Bret Hart things. Like these are all different things throughout his whole career. We're going to be discussing each one, and yeah, we have to decide whether it's a high or a low. So I just want to point out some of these I don't agree with. Obviously, these are what fans have been picking out. So this is the first one, which is versus Vince McMahon at WrestleMania. Now, why is this on the list? Because apparently this was voted as Bret's worst match in WrestleMania. So JP, I'll start with you on this one. The elements there, but do you think this is more about timing?
I mean, it was not a very good match. It made Bret look bad, which is saying a lot because, I mean, how many matches has he been in where he's made very inferior talent look like $1 million? Like, for example, the long lost match of Bret Hart's with Tom, whatever his name is. He made him look good.
Tom McGee.
Yeah, Tom McGee. Yeah. For somebody who looked like horrible and it was green as goose crap. But this match was just freaking horrible. And I mean, it was all because of the screw job. I mean, if the screw job never happened, we would never have gotten Bret versus Mr. McMahon or Senior McMahon.
And also, Bret hadn't wrestled in how long at this point?
I mean, it's been a few years. It's been a few years since he wrestled. So I did not like this match. I didn't like it when it was announced. I didn't like it at WrestleMania. It was just, ugh. It made Bret look bad, and that sucks.
Fair enough. Mr. Isaacs?
Yeah, I didn't like it at all. This was definitely his worst match of all time. I mean, we got to the point to where, after the injuries and the strokes and all that, Bret just wasn't Bret.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have been in there working a match. I mean, I could see him working an angle of some sort to get revenge on Vince McMahon. My wrestler can beat your wrestler, but this was an awful match. They shouldn't have been in the ring together.
Yep.
Fair enough. Kind of dry. Go ahead.
At the same time, like you got to see it from Bret's perspective. Like he's been exiled from WWE for how long, and to have that one more moment in the ring is still pretty cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it obviously, it's not the same Bret, but at the same time, like I still think having Tyson Kidd and Davey Boy Smith Jr. come in and beat the shit out of Vince in the middle of the match was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I do like the idea of having my wrestler versus your wrestler, and then you can even have Bret come in at the end, smash him with a chair, put the sharpshooter on him, and cry bloody murder if no one helps.
That's what should have happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree there. I didn't like the match as well. So now the fun part, Mr. Isaacs, do we consider this a high or a low?
I consider it a low.
Okay, JP.
Oh, this is as low could get.
Okay, kind of dry.
I'm gonna go medium because
You
it's
can't go.
we still got to see Bret return after how long? So I think that's still pretty cool.
Okay, so 2 for low, 1 for medium. I do say it's a low as well, but I don't think it's Brett's fault. I just think it was more about the timing, and the match just was awful overall. But hey, we don't book this shit. So next up, we've got, and I actually love this. It's obviously battling his brother. Now, in wrestling, I actually love it when obviously brothers face off because you felt like the more connection wise, but kind of dry. We're obviously battling Owen overall. What do you think?
That match was one of the best matches in wrestling, period. Those two put on a show. And if wrestlers weren't backstage taking notes, oh, I'm going to try that, they're just dumb because those two showed what wrestling is all about, the heart and the emotion. And just the, I love the feud period between these two. And it was just great.
Okay, JP.
I mean the whole rivalry that led up to that WrestleMania 10 match was superb. And if you never got a chance to watch Stampede Wrestling and watch them compete with and against each other, that's what you missed, because that match was quintessentially one of the great Bret Hart rivalries of all time. And the fact that it was brother versus brother, the family was at ringside. I mean, it just, everything about it just screamed amazing and awesome. So I love this match. I love the rivalry. I love seeing Owen playing the spoiled brat little brother. I mean, he played it perfectly, and Bret playing the big brother. I mean, it was absolutely perfect. It just, even to this day, it still brings a tear to my eye.
Awesome. Mr. Isaacs?
Yeah, that WrestleMania match was one of the greatest wrestling matches of all time.
Yeah.
Certainly will always be the greatest opening match of all time.
Yes, for sure.
Like nothing is ever going to top that as an opening match ever again.
Yeah.
Great feud, phenomenal. I mean, masterclass. I don't really know what else to say. I loved it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just want to add something. Sometimes I just remember something as you guys are talking. So Bret and Owen, they always kept it kayfabe when they were working. They always kept the hate on the plane. And there was this little old lady on the plane with them, and I guess Bret had thought he could just talk to Owen like they're buddies. And the little old lady goes, "I knew it." I just kind of laughed.
Awesome. Has anybody got anything to add on that before we get to the high and low bit?
No.
No, awesome. So, JP, I mean, I think I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask it anyway. High or low?
Oh, super duper high.
Of course. Canada Dry?
High as JFB on a Saturday night.
Mr. Isaacs?
Can you take me higher?
Who sings that?
Creed.
Okay. You made it sound like a gospel singer, like at a church or something.
That's brilliant. Right. Hi. There you go. Of course.
High with 2 H's on the end. Not 3, because it's not Triple H. He's a 7 out of 10. Or excuse me, what is he? A 4 out of 10? Yeah, he's a 4 out of 10. That's right.
Of course. Next up, we've got is.
Hey, you didn't ask me.
Sorry, high or low? You said high anyway.
Hello. Chewbacca dry over here.
Dear.
I think they should have Chewbacca just like,
that big time, doesn't it? Jeez. Next up, we've got it's of course Starrcade 97. Now, obviously, I've watched this back and I'm like, what the hell? But Mr. Isaacs, overall, his appearance at Starrcade 97.
This was terrible. Like, this was awful. This was probably the worst ending to a major built-up pay-per-view match ever. And it just sucks that Bret got wrapped up in this. It was nonsensical. It was dumb. I don't like what they were doing with Bret Hart during this time. It just seemed like such a waste of his talent. He should have came in.
Now this is
with
what
bigger
Bret's
thing
first
to
match,
do.
first interaction, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first thing he did. It was just ludicrous.
Kind of dry.
Yeah, and I think it's a low. Sorry, we're not doing that part. Yeah, I didn't like it at all, and I'm glad that I didn't pay to watch that either. I had a D-scrambler back then.
Oh, stealing cable. You're
My
hearing
poor
this?
parents paid for me to watch this, and yeah, it was
What did it
disappointing.
cost back then?
It was, I think, $39.99.
Yeah.
I think it's how much a pay per view was back then.
So like that's like $70 in our money.
Fast forward 20 years with inflation, that's probably between 70 and $80.
Yeah.
The JFB, obviously Starcade 97.
Oh my God. I've sneezed out stuff that looked better than this match. I mean, I equate it to you get rich and you start buying rich people stuff like a Ferrari or like a yacht, but you live in a landlocked area and you can't drive 900 miles an hour with a Ferrari. And that's essentially what Bischoff did. He just said, well, what are we going to do with this new acquisition? Let's make him a special referee at Starrcade against a Hogan and Sting where there's no clear winner and it's all fugazi. That's what happened. It was horrible. Absolutely horrible. Shame
So
on
let
you,
me
Eric
ask you
Bischoff.
guys this: how would you have booked Bret Hart for Starrcade?
I would have booked him as a wrestler. I would have booked him.
Yeah.
I would have booked him against anybody. Like throw in like Chris Benoit or Eddie Guerrero at that time. Was Eddie Guerrero? Yeah, Eddie Guerrero. Eddie was still with WCW at that time. Like throw him in with a capable wrestler and let them just go to town.
I think you just started with Buff Bagwell to start because he was going against the NWO at that time. Start him against someone easy like Buff Bagwell, and then he can work his way up.
Yeah, I just didn't like this idea of booking him like as a referee match. I mean, when you look at the WCW roster, you could have picked absolutely anybody. Do you know what I mean, to put him up against? But as we can say, it's Eric Bischoff. What can we say? So, kind of dry. The next bit, high or low?
This is a low, but it's not his fault at all.
Of course. JP?
Oh, this is a low, and I blame Eric Bischoff. And I know he watches the show.
Show that bastard's face again.
Yeah. Damn Eric Bischoff. Stupid bastard. Ruining the career of... I don't even want to
Looks
get
like
to
such a douche. Show that guy's face again.
Yeah, I'm all of a Klimt.
What, that one?
Look at that douchebag.
Just look at the way he smiles. He's like, hey, guess whose career I ruined really quick? This guy.
Who's not the best there is, best there was, best there will be.
Oh, dear. Mr. Isaacs, high or low?
It's definitely a low. I mean, from what I understand, I know we're blaming Bischoff here, but from what I understand, it was kind of more Hogan's fault.
Yeah.
Because Hogan decided at the last minute he wanted to change the finish because Sting didn't have a tan, brother. And that means he didn't take it seriously.
Yeah.
He wasn't a star.
Yeah.
So he couldn't put him over clean.
I actually remember when we were on 83 Weeks with Conrad Thompson, and the guy just absolutely went to town over that. I'm like, holy.
That was their biggest fight ever. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Over a
It's like,
10.
what? Conrad's like, what? You didn't give him a push because he didn't get a damn tan? What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
What do you say? Hogan wanted Sting to actually have a tan?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like he
He's
said that he
fucking
didn't
painted.
he thinks that Sting didn't take being a star seriously enough. He's like, he doesn't even have a tan, brother. What kind of star doesn't have a tan?
And mostly the rest of his uniform is covering it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. The funny thing was, it's like, because Eric keeps saying he wasn't in the best frame of mind, and I'm like, when you watch that match back, really, you do kind of see that, like Sting's not in the best frame of mind. That's what I picked up anyway. I mean, I don't know what you guys think.
I remember that they were talking before that match. The finish changed like 7-8 times, and they finally got it down.
It's not going to work for me, brother.
It's not gonna work, brother.
I mean, let's face it. Hulk Hogan's tan, fake. 27-inch pythons, fake. Size of Hulk Hogan's manhood, fake.
Yeah,
Hulk
he even
Hogan.
said it. Hulk Hogan has a big dick. Terry Bollea.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Hulk Hogan has a large dick, but Terry Bollea does not.
That was
Oh.
the funniest testimony.
And it's still
I've ever
unconfirmed
heard.
how big is Batista's dick. So,
Let's move along before we end up getting kicked off the show. Now, next one is, of course, it's Bret Hart's first WWE Championship win. JP, I mean, when you win your first title, it's always a big one, right? Would you agree?
Oh, good Lord, yes. I mean, when he hoisted that belt up, I felt this peace. Like everything was right in the world. It was a good call to put the strap onto him, light up his jetpack, and send him to the moon. I mean, he carried that company from Golden Era and that small little area that between the Golden Era and the Attitude Era, where there was just that slight dip in attendance and all this stuff. He carried that company. He kept them solvent because he was starting to lose money. He was starting to hemorrhage money, and putting it on Bret Hart was the smartest thing Vince McMahon ever did, with the exception of one thing, and that's the pencil mustache dyed jet black.
That was very smart.
Gracias, Senor McMahon.
Canada Dry, his first championship win.
I loved it, especially beating that asshole Ric Flair. Yeah, apparently Ric Flair had vertigo during this match, and apparently wasn't doing a good job selling and all that stuff. The only thing I would have done differently, I would have put it on TV.
exactly.
Yeah.
Get this match on TV, have him win in front of everyone. You turned on Superstars. Oh, if you're watching, Bret Hart just won the championship in Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah, I agree totally. Mr. Isaacs?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say as well. It should have been televised.
Yeah.
It was kind of ridiculous to just tune in one morning and then they just show still images of Bret holding the Winged Eagle belt up saying, hey, he won. He beat Ric Flair. Like, I wanted to see that. Like,
Yeah, that's why everything. Like, why did I not get to see this?
yeah, I don't know why Vince decided to go that route. I don't quite understand that, but I mean, obviously, this was a defining moment, probably the defining moment in Bret's career.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
can't you even record it and show it on Superstars, anyways?
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, obviously, I kind of know the answer on this one as well, but of course, we're going to be professional here. Canada Dry, high or low?
It's her.
Mr. Isaacs?
Hey, man, it's pretty high.
You sound high.
Dave's not here, man, but it's high.
JP?
Higher than the JFB when we're doing Dynamite After Dark about halfway through when my edible kicks in. Yeah. Super, super high.
Hi-yo.
Oh!
Next one we've got, and it's one we've obviously covered quite a lot, so we're not going to spend too much time on it. And it's, of course, the Montreal Screwjob. Now, like I said, we've covered this to high heaven, so Mr. Isaac, hi.
There's that word again. We just need to bring Rob Van Dam's image up and just put it on the screen. It's high.
Somebody say hi.
Or Riddle. One of those two.
This is brilliant. Yeah, Mr. Isaac, we've covered the Montreal Screwjob quite a lot of times, so to summarize it overall.
Yeah, I mean, you can watch one of the other 50 podcasts we've done where we've talked about this at length. I mean, obviously, everybody knows the story now. Bret was leaving for WCW. He had creative control in his contract. Didn't want to drop the belt to Shawn in Canada because of fears of what it was going to make his character look like. And Vince decided to swerve him and do it anyways by force. So we all know the story. This is the third full podcast we've done on Bret Hart. So you can go back and listen to the first two if you want to know a more in-depth perspective on that. But that's the Montreal Screwjob.
There you go. JP?
I mean, the screw job will go down in history as one of the most discussed, the most dissected, the most one end or the other wrestling match of all time. You're either believe it would happen for real, you can believe other people saying that Bret was in on it, he knew what was going on. I mean, it's so divisive, it's so divisive how many people take sides on this. And it's been done ad nauseum. And whether Bret was involved or not is irregardless. It is still an amazing freaking match. Outside of the schmoz ending, it was a really good freaking match from start to right near the finish. It was a really good match. So yeah, that's mine.
Okay, kind of dry.
That JP brings up a good point. My only thing is the match was only halfway through.
Yeah.
Why don't you screw them when we get to see the whole match?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get to see the whole match. Like, come on.
No, I agree totally. That I completely forgot it was actually in the middle of the match. But again, I kind of know the answer on this. But Mr. Isaacs, high or low?
Well, obviously it's a high, brother. No, it's definitely a low. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is the moon landing conspiracy of pro wrestling fans. That everybody's like, guys, I'm telling you, man, it was a work. It was a work. No, it's not, man. That was a complete shoot. And it's just this discussion is going to go back and forth for decades and decades and decades, still long after Bret and Vince are dead.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is definitely a low.
Of course. JP?
I'm going to be controversial. I'm going to say it's high, and here's my reason why. I put it as a high only because what it did for WWE, despite the fact that they screwed Bret Hart, which was a bad thing.
Yes, but it's not the highs and lows of WWE. It's the highs and lows of Bret
That's
Hart.
true. That's true. But it catapulted. I mean, Bret got a huge contract from WCW. Sure, they didn't know what to do with him, but he got paid. I mean, that brother got paid. The match itself was a great match. I mean, it only went halfway through the match, but it did a lot for WCW. It got more eyes on WCW. I mean, I'll admit, when I knew Bret was going to WCW, I started watching WCW again. And I stopped watching WWE because Bret wasn't there. So, I mean, it pulled more eyes to WCW's product. I'm going to go with high.
My guys, that's a hot take.
Hot take.
Hot take.
There we go. Kind of dry. You get the deciding vote here. We've got one for high, one for low.
Okay, because I kind of want to go both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
My high, or my low is the fact that Bret Hart is a screw job, but my high is Bret Hart giving Vince McMahon uppercut and knocking him the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like, everybody has wanted to do that to their boss.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
100%. Yeah.
He made a call. What would my dad do? He's like, my dad would knock him the fuck out. So here's for you, Dad.
Dear.
Semi hot take.
We're going to get that loaded into the soundboard. That's brilliant.
I got my mixer here, pal. I got all the sounds.
There we go. Awesome. So, got two more left of these guys. Have got one for themselves. So, next is a curious one. It's Will Sasso. He had a little bit of a feud with Will Sasso, and a lot of people didn't like this. What the hell? Is Bree just like on a rant or something? Yeah, I guess. So, yeah, kind of dry. Will Sasso. A lot of people have mixed feelings with this.
See, I watched a couple weeks ago. I watched the Bret Hart skit on Mad TV, and it was funny as hell. I enjoyed it. He put the parents of this kid in the sharpshooter because they were bullying their kid, and it was great.
Of course, JB.
I loved it. I mean, it was stupid to put a world class athlete in a position where he's got to fight Will Sasso, who obviously knows nothing about professional wrestling. But the Mad TV skit was actually pretty humorous. The match itself was funny, but for a far different reason.
Mr. Isaacs.
It was entertaining to say the least. I mean, obviously, this wasn't like highbrow wrestling here or anything, but it was entertaining. Will Sasso's hilarious. This is a little off the cuff here, but if you look up the comedian Theo Vaughn's podcast, Will Sasso was just on it, and he did a 20-minute Jesse Ventura impression.
Yeah,
that you have to see.
Do you know what I love of
It's
Will
very
Sasso
incredible.
is Kenny Rogers thing.
yes.
Kenny Rogers, Will Sasso. Oh, it's so
Kenny Rogers roasters.
yeah, so funny.
Dear. Yeah. Now the fun part is it a high or a low? JP, I'll start with you.
It's low. Because I mean, it just you put him in a ring with a guy who had no training whatsoever, and it was foolish. And then like his co-star showed up, and she was for Brad, and it's just like, it was just garbage. That match was just absolutely hot garbage. So I'm going to go with low.
Kind of dry.
I think at this point, Bret just needed something to do because they had no idea what to do with him. Like at one point, Bret Hart wanted to have a cat as his manager. And he had this idea that he pitched. And at the end, he would have this fake cat that he would slap his opponent with and knock them the fuck out. And he was just trying to, bide his time. And he just like, I need something. So I think it's a medium. It's just there.
Okay. Mr. Isaacs?
This isn't anything that anybody's really going to talk about when they discuss Bret Hart's career in a retrospective, unless we pluck individual things out and determine if it's going to be a high or a low, like we're doing today. I think for that reason, it's got to be a low, but it was entertaining though. I didn't hate it.
Okay, so low it is. So the last one I've got is, it's getting beat down by the Nexus. JP, I remember this fondly, and for some reason, I just didn't like it personally. But what did you think?
I thought it was stupid. I thought it was hot garbage. Hey, let's take a guy in his 50s and just beat the living hell out of him. I mean, did they get bored of John Cena and they just decided, hey, Bret Hart looks like a viable candidate. Let's beat him up. It was just stupid. It was just absolutely, it made no sense. It didn't move a storyline along. It was hot. It was a dumpster fire. So, yeah.
Okay. Kind of dry.
I loved it. I enjoyed seeing the Nexus go around. They beat the shit out of Ricky Steamboat. They beat the shit out of everyone. I loved it.
Yeah.
So the fact that Bret Hart got it too, and then he was involved in that SummerSlam match where he took a chair to someone and got disqualified right away. You knew that something like that was going to happen. But I enjoyed seeing Bret Hart as part of that.
Okay. Mr. Isaacs?
I liked it because honestly, the Nexus angle was super exciting in my opinion, because just all of a sudden these new fresh faces just popped up and just started beating the hell out of everybody and causing a ruckus, and it was just, I liked it. I thought it was good. It was kind of disappointing that Bret just kind of disappeared after that and never came back.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if I understand correctly, I remember I believe he was the GM at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And they put him out, and then he just never came back.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, I mean, I would have liked to have seen a little more of a payoff there. But
Well, you remember right after that, the GM was the computer. And
that was awful. I hated
and
that.
the GM was booking him with a match with Undertaker. Undertaker was coming out, and it never happened. I feel bad.
So, yep. As always, JP, high or low?
I'm going to go with low. I know it's a hot take, but it didn't do anything to progress the overall storyline. I think it made Bret look foolish. And I just think that Senior McMahon has this thing where he wants to humiliate the Harts. It only makes sense. So I'm going to go with low.
Okay, kind of dry.
I enjoyed seeing Bret. That was our first Bret back in WWE action. So for me, it was just fun and exciting. So yeah, I'm gonna say it's a high.
Of course. Mr. Isaacs?
I like the angle. I don't think it did anything for Bret's legacy, and the fact that he just vanished afterwards. Yeah, I'm not. I'm just gonna say it's a low.
Okay, so that's obviously the thingy. Now we've got some more time. So, Mr. Isaacs, have you got one to obviously discuss? Like one we haven't discussed?
Well, yeah, and this is the one that kind of ended it all. The infamous Goldberg match and the kick to the head, Starrcade, December 1999. Absolutely awful. I mean, Goldberg ruined this man's career. I mean, this guy could have went on and wrestled another decade. I mean, can you imagine if he had wrestled into the Ruthless Aggression era and had kind of a second, kind of a reborn decade like Shawn Michaels had? And he could have had more matches with Shawn. He could have had matches with Prime Taker, who I think was doing his best work during that time.
Yeah.
John Cena, Kurt Angle. We were robbed of so many classic matches, all because of this match.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. JP, your thoughts on this?
Let's not forget that he cost Bret Hart millions and millions of dollars. Millions. You put in a guy who decided not to take wrestling serious because he couldn't cut it in the NFL. And, you know, he looks a little bit like a steroid-ridden Steve Austin. So let's throw him in the ring and see what he can do. And it was just atrocious. Again, Eric Bischoff is to blame for this. He will always be blamed for this because, you know, he spent all that money on Bret and then basically just put him in these shenanigan matches. And the worst one was with Goldberg. And Goldberg costed him a career because, like Mr. Isaac said, absolutely, we got robbed of at least 10 to 12 years more of Bret Hart. And who knows what we could have seen. He could still be wrestling, you know, in his 50s and, you know, one-offs here and one-offs there and, you know, be like Chris Jericho. He could have constantly reinvented himself and he didn't. And so I blame you, Eric Bischoff. You're a bastard.
Canada Dry?
Yeah, the other thing is it destroyed the new NWO, which was really cool.
Yeah.
And it had a chance to actually get going. Like, it just stalled because everyone got hurt. Goldberg even got hurt during that, too.
Yeah.
He punched a freaking window.
Yep.
This is an interesting one because can you class it as a high or a low? Because it's not technically his fault. JP, I'll start with you.
A lot of these aren't his fault.
I'm going to go with low because it was just it was reckless, is what it was. It was just absolutely reckless. Goldberg should have been in there for one thing and one thing only, and that was for Bret to make him look good. Because Bret's never hurt a wrestler ever in his career.
Mm-hmm.
We can count on hands and toes the number of times Bill Goldberg has hurt a wrestler. It's ridiculous. So I'm going super low, like as low as you can get. Pond scum low, catfish low. Yeah, low.
Okay, Mr. Isaacs?
Yeah, this is the lowest of the low. I mean, this was the end of his career, the shortening of his career, and the stopping point of his legacy. Yeah, I mean, this is the lowest on the list by far. But to end it on kind of a light note with my commentary here, Honky Tonk Man used to cut some amazing shoots back in the day. And I just remember there's a clip of him talking about Bret Hart. He goes, Bret Hart, Goldberg kicked you in the head. Now your dick don't work. I just wanted an excuse to throw that out here.
Of course. Canada Dry, high or low?
This is a low, but I've heard it on the rumor that Goldberg has trained Taya Mello. And that's why she keeps hurting people.
Bill Goldberg, School of Wrestling. Concussions, you give them, you don't get them.
Kick him to the face.
Scramble their brains before they scramble you and take their spot.
JFB, obviously, what's your thing we've not discussed?
I mean, my favorite is, you know, Bret Hart was an actor. I mean, Bret Hart always said he wanted to be an actor. He wanted to be in the movies and in TV. And, you know, even though Roddy Piper predated him as an actor, he had a great run on Lonesome Dove. And I love Westerns, but he played such a great character on Lonesome Dove. It was so good to see him in his natural element, because what's funny is, you know, when he was going to debut in WWE, they were going to make him Cowboy Bret Hart, and they're going to have him ride a horse into the ring. And it's like he got to live his fantasy of being a cowboy. And that's a huge thing. I loved it. It was such a good run. If you have not seen it, it's on Tubi, I believe, has it. But you can watch, you know, he's not in every episode. He's in every other episode. And it's a great it really is a great show. If you like Westerns and you like TV, check out Lonesome Dove.
What's his character like? What does he do?
He was kind of like a badass outlaw, but you know, he always did the side of good. Like, even though the situation may be calling for him to like rob a stagecoach, it was for a good reason. So like he was like an outlaw with a conscience.
I would like to rob you guys, but it's going to charity. Okay?
It's going to go to concussion charity.
There you go. Mr. Isaacs, your thoughts?
Goldberg and Taylor, the real Hurt Business.
That is the best take of the day right there. They are the real Hurt Business. Holy crap. Oh, wow. That was awesome. Cliff's my new favorite person in the world.
That's brilliant.
I'm sorry, Liam. Could you reiterate your question for me?
What's your thoughts on obviously what JP mentioned there?
Oh man, that just threw me off. I completely forgot what JFB even said. I just went totally blank and forgot what JFB even said. Sorry.
It was
Lonesome Dove good.
So basically, Bret Hart as an actor.
Bret Hart is an actor. I never saw that. I never saw his appearance on that. But I mean, Bret is so wooden. I just I'd love to see him on a show though. I bet he would seem so awkward. I loved him on Mad TV though. I thought he was hilarious.
Yeah.
Kind of dry.
I seen him as the genie in Aladdin. He's like, I'm going to grant you 3 wishes because I'm the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
Wait. No, this is it.
Was the best there will ever be, and the best there ever is. Isn't that how it is? No. Oh.
That's free.
Damn it. Sorry. Intern, screw you. Here we go.
The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
I'm sorry, Bree. I'm just so
Yeah,
sorry.
I loved him as an actor. I love it. He's in isn't he in a new film where he plays like a detective or something?
Yeah, it's called Stalker. It's comes out on video on demand in a month.
Nice.
I gotta watch that.
Yeah.
An older Bret Hart playing a detective, right?
Okay, interesting.
I saw Neidhart in a movie as a cop, so that'd be interesting.
You're going down now.
There's a movie. It used to be on Amazon Prime. It's a zombie movie, and it's something to do with luchadors and zombies. I can't remember what, but Jim Neidhart was a cop in it.
Yep.
JB, you know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't remember the name, but yes, I do remember.
It was an awful movie, but
it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. Yeah, it was bad.
Mr. Isaacs, high or low?
I'm sorry. What are we reviewing again here? What are we talking about?
Have you lost completely?
I lost my train of thought, dude.
The lonesome Bret as an actor, basically.
Oh yeah. I hadn't seen it, so I'm gonna say it's a high. That's a good thing to be in movies and TV shows.
Okay, JP.
It's a high for me. Actually, the Stalker movie is available on iTunes and Amazon as well to purchase and to rent. So you can rent it for $4.99. You could buy it for $12.99. But it's gotten good reviews. I love Bret as an actor. It's a high for me.
What's the movie? What's the show called?
It's called Stalker. The show is called Lonesome Dove, but the movie is called Stalker.
I gotta find that Stalker.
Yep, it's out there. I pre-bought it and I didn't realize it. And I checked my library to see if it was on there, and it is. So I know what I'm watching tonight. I'm watching soccer.
Hell
There you
yeah.
Stalker.
Canada Dry, high or low on Bret as an actor?
Oh, definitely a high.
Hello.
Right then, Canada Dry, to finish off, what's your talking point?
Bret Hart is very proud of his time that he's on The Simpsons. Even today, you'll see him just bragging, I was on The Simpsons, you know that? The funny thing about this is they didn't know how big Bret Hart was at the time.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't know about your voice. Can we change it a little bit? Maybe. I said, well, I can try to change it and change it to sound a little bit different. So I didn't even know it was actually Bret Hart doing the voice for the longest time.
Yeah.
Okay, JP.
I loved it. Hey, you're gonna live next to the Iron Sheik. All right. And then you hear the Iron Sheik going, ay, 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 ay. It was awesome. That was during a time when The Simpsons was good. Now, not now, where The Simpsons is just hot garbage. That was back when they had great writers. Conan O'Brien was a writer for them.
Yes.
It was
the golden era.
Yeah, the golden era. Yeah, seasons 1 through like 7 or 8 are just the best. You know, I mean, my all-time favorite episode of any TV show is when The Simpsons redid Cape Fear with Sideshow Bob, and so brilliant, such a brilliant ape of Cape Fear. But yeah, I loved him on The Simpsons. It was a quick cameo, but I mean, I still watch it to this day. I'll search it out on the FX thing and on the FX gimmick, and I'll watch it just to watch that cameo.
Of course. Mr. Isaacs?
Yeah, I loved it. The Simpsons, classic Simpsons is like my favorite show of all time.
Yeah.
I loved it. Bret, my favorite wrestler of all time. The Simpsons, my favorite show of all time. I mean, what's not to love?
Yeah.
There you go. I mean, it's a high for me. I mean, but of course, to finish off the last one, Mr. Isaacs, high or low?
High.
JP?
High like a kite.
Go ahead, Canada Dry.
Bro.
That's brilliant. Didn't know but laugh on this
I've
show.
done it like 7 times and it still gets a pop every time.
Oh, this is brilliant. And yeah, that pretty much wraps all our list up. JP, what we're going to show tomorrow?
We are doing the AEW draft, if you will. We are going to take Collision and we're going to take Dynamite. We're going to separate the parting of the roster. We're going to make a draft. I think what is it? Champions are not allowed to be drafted, but
I think it's just we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We got rules. You know, this isn't gonna
all in the ring.
Podcast roster chat.
All in the ring.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't forget, in a couple of weeks or so, we're doing Magic of Wrestling versus the All Wrestling Wrestling Show on the quiz again. I can't wait for that. Have we decided what the rules are for that yet?
Yeah, JFD is the moderator. You'll be matching wits against each other, and winner will receive the antidote.
Oh dear. JP, do you want to do the outro where everybody can find us and stuff?
Heck yeah. You know, you can go to our website, effingwrestling.com. You can go ahead and scroll all the way bottom. That'll burn some calories because you're going to do a lot of scrolling. You get down to the very bottom. Canada Dry is going to the very bottom, and then you'll see all our social media links. But you can also go to the description immediately below where you at youtube.com/effingwrestling, you click like and subscribe so you know when we're on. Hit share too while you're at it. Tell all your friends about us. All our social media links are there as well. If you like shirts, and I know that you do, Father's Day is coming up. This is it's from Pro Wrestling Tees, but it's not one of ours. But if you want one of ours, like the beautiful Natalia Markova, hello, baby. Ay, 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 she is sexy. You can get the All Effing Wrestling Show. You can get Dollywood wearing the magic of wrestling. You can get all these shirts and more. ProWrestlingTees.com/effing wrestling. If you like old school wrestling, like me and the rest of us here, I know that you do, go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Adrian Adonis, where you can get your Adrian Adonis gear, including this shirt, the adorable Adrian Adonis. Go to Pro Wrestling Tees, go to our website, go to our social media, join AFW for God's sakes. You do want to wrestle. You want to predict against the JFP, against the Enlightened One, the effing expert, or Liam the Magician. You have to go to AFW, because if you don't, you're just a sucker. Nobody's going to take you serious in life. Nobody's going to take you.
Are we still number one?
We are still number one. Yeah, we just got the rankings. We are number one by now, 85 points. Number one in prediction week, prediction monthly. We are number one by 85 points.
We'll let this guy back in. I've told you, this is not.
He's been enlightened to be a Luke Wilson fan.
Awesome. So, any final words from Mr. Isaacs?
Great show, gentlemen. Thank you all for coming on, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.
Hey, can you do that Canada Dry spiel there, expert?
Well, yes. As our good pal Canada Dry would like for you guys to remember, we all need to just keep fighting.
Bear hug. Awesome power. The winners of this bout.
The Magician and the Effin' Expert.
You can win